Hey friends, it's Coach Hudson here, and I have noticed a theme lately. A lot of the agents that I coach are having conversations with me around open houses, and so I wanted to create this video for everybody and share it, put it out there, because I'd like to challenge your thinking around open houses. It's Friday, so it made me think of it, because I know a lot of you probably have open houses scheduled, or maybe you plan to have one and it just didn't happen. We're thinking about open houses on a Friday, and so I want to challenge your thinking. And so your open house is not there for you to collect leads. It's not there for you to sell the house. Now, of course, are we okay collecting leads? Sure. Would we love to sell the house on the spot? 100%. We love that. Your goal at an open house is to set appointments. What I'm finding is that too many agents, and it's not just newer agents, it's longtime producing agents, go into these open houses expecting to earn off of it, and yet they're earning by collecting leads and chasing them for the next 6 months. Friends, when someone comes into your open house, they are actively thinking of buying or selling real estate. Like maybe they're not ready, and yet they're not just, nobody's filling their time with that. They have a real estate need that's either now or in the near future. Why aren't we setting appointments on the spot? All right. Now, there's a few things I can tell you to get you going in the right direction. First of all, when somebody comes to your open house, you're going to greet them with energy and confidence. You're going to say, hey, I'm Hudson with Keller Williams. Thank you for coming. You're going to reach out to shake their hand. Now, if they're not a handshaker, they'll give you that sign, and that's okay. You're showing that you're confident, all right? Are you one of the neighbors? You're going to ask them if they're one of the neighbors. You're going to ask them with a smile, because here's what that question will do. Their answer is going to tell you whether or not they are a seller or a buyer lead. You want to know that right up front, because your goal is to set an appointment with them, right? If they tell you they're one of the neighbors, they are a potential seller lead. If they tell you they're not, well, they're a potential buyer lead, which is fantastic, all right? Either way. Now, you're gonna maybe give them 2 to 3 lines about the house. You're gonna keep it sweet and short, and you're gonna send them on their way. Don't be a stalker at open house. They don't want you to follow them into every single room. Please don't do it. It's gonna make them uncomfortable, which is gonna shoot your shot before you've even gotten there, right? So you're gonna let them walk around. Depending on the size of the house, you might check in with them 1, 2, 3 times. Hey, did you have any questions? Hey, what do you think so far? Keep it light. They're gonna end up in the kitchen. Now, in the kitchen is where you're gonna have any materials, sign-in sheet. Spoiler alert, I'm not a big fan of having materials unless it's just something for them to look at. I don't wanna hand them a flyer. I don't wanna hand them a business card. Those go in the trash. If I don't get the appointment on the spot, I'm collecting their information. Now, whether you wanna do that on paper or electronically, I don't think there's any right or wrong. I would challenge you that you should collect the information though, because you can read your handwriting, all right? So, I'm gonna ask questions. You're gonna start to get to know these people. How long have they been looking? How long have they been thinking about selling? Why are they doing it? You know, all the normal stuff that you would do if you were at a party and somebody told you they had a real estate need. You're gonna start to feel them out and find a little bit out. Then you're going to close for the appointment. Guys, you're spending time away from your family and your friends on the weekend. Get paid, all right? So if maybe they're a potential seller lead, and regardless of whether they're ready or not, by the way, I'm gonna say, awesome. So I would love to stop by and see your home so that I could give you a market analysis. Now, for a potential seller lead, I'm gonna come see it right after the open house, or at least that's my goal. I'm not gonna do a full listing presentation because I would fall flat on my face, and yet I do wanna see the house. I do wanna capitalize on the fact that they've just met me and they haven't had any time to overthink it, right? So if they're a potential seller, I'm gonna say, look, I'm done here at 4. Would I be able to come over maybe like 4:30, 4:45 after I've gotten all my signs? I'll only stay for a little bit. I don't even care if your house is clean. I'd just like to see it, have you tell me anything I should know about it. I'll put some information together, and then we can set another time where I come out and share all that with you. Guys, we gotta get in front of them. And for a seller, we gotta see the house. Too many of us are giving CMAs on houses we've never seen, and we're losing before we've ever really set foot in the door, all right? Now, if they're a potential buyer, you're gonna get to a point where you've got enough information, and same deal, you're gonna say, hey, when could we schedule a time for a buyer consultation? You know, I could do Monday afternoon at 3, or Tuesday I could do 2 o'clock. Which one of those would work best? Now, the response you're gonna get a lot is, you're gonna get confusion over the fact that you just called it a buyer consultation. And quite frankly, you want that. Because that's your opportunity to say, when they say, oh, what's a buyer consultation? Oh, well, let me explain. I do things differently than most agents do. I don't believe that a buyer like yourself needs to waste their time on a weekend driving from open house to open house to open house, calling listing agents left and right, not even knowing if the house would work for them or not. What I do is I have a buyer consultation with my clients and potential clients. And what we do is we're gonna sit down. I'm gonna ask a lot of questions about what you're looking for, and not just bedroom and bathroom. Like, I wanna know exactly what you're looking for. I also wanna know things like your timeline, all that good stuff. I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions. I'm also gonna give you an opportunity to ask me any questions you have about my services, about the market, about the buying process. And throughout all that, we'll decide by the end of that meeting if it would make sense for us to work together, and I would go out and find you your dream home. By the way, typically in 4 to 6 homes, like, you're not gonna have to look at 50 or 100, or maybe we'll decide that we're not a fit. Either way, what I can promise you is when you have a buyer consultation with me, you're gonna leave with so much more value and be so further ready to purchase a home that works for you. All right, now friends, look, they're not always gonna set the appointment. It's okay. And yet I can tell you, in my very long, at this point, real estate career, almost 18 years into it, I can tell you that works so much more often than your limiting mind is telling you it does. So as you go into the weekend with open houses, I wanna challenge you. You're going to set appointments. That's the only reason you're there. You're not there to appease your seller. You're not there to collect leads to follow up with, although the leads you collect, you will follow up with, right? You're there to set appointments and fill your weekly roster of appointments, all right? If you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, go have a fantastic weekend. Take care.